Welcome to another episode, everyone. Gucci Mane is under heavy attack for snitching. He doubled down and made a video, a record about the fact that he snitched on Pooh Shiesty. This individual here is attacking Gucci Mane viciously, saying that he's a civilian, no longer a part of the street, and that if he was a part of the street, he should have never opened his mouth as it relates to Pooh Shiesty and Pooh Shiesty allegedly robbing him. But many individuals are coming down on this individual for this interview. Check this out. Let's get into it.
As tough as he has been in the media, as tough as he's been on these rap records, you don't think when he was in that interrogation room, because he was in the interrogation room, I can't wait to hear that interrogation room tape.
Real life. It ain't real life. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
So Gucci Mane has a situation with Pooh Shiesty here in Dallas. We covered it. Go check out the last Dogface interview. Now, what we did not see coming, we heard rumblings of RD in the paperwork. Did he tell? Did he not? He just flat out jumped out the window and did a diss track over a Zaytoven beat. And I think what he was going for was the truth type of, remember when he did the Truth versus Jeezy? I think he was kind of going for that vibe, but it backfired. Explain from your perspective, was he in violation for doing that?
So first of all this so let's just make sure we clarify something, right? Because this whole concept of who is and who isn't a civilian, after they have engaged in street for 45,000 years. Hey, listen, bro. I have a form, and I'm going to give it to you so we can start to distribute this shit. It is called the street renunciation form. If you were a street and you no longer want to be subject to street rules, that's cool. That's cool. But you got to sign up. You got to sign this form.
Is it a fee that comes with this? Is it a fee that comes with the application?
No fee. Because, hey, listen, if you don't want to partake in the cool. If you was once living the street life, you done sold dope, you done robbed, right? You did all kind of shit, and you don't want to participate in that shit, and you don't want to be judged according to the street rules and the principles that supposed to support and undergird all the shit that happens in the street, you ain't got to partake in that shit, but you got to make it known. You can't wait till gangster shit happen and then decide you want to not play by the rules, because that's what we got going on here. What we got going on here is are finding themselves in predicaments where they have a decision to make about whether they want to talk or not talk, whether they want to keep it gangster or not keep it gangster. And oftentimes, as we now see, these ain't keeping it gangster. They ain't been keeping it gangster. So they want to go the civilian route when they didn't broke bad. No, nigga, you got to sign this application first. It's called a re-entry application. I want to go back to being a civilian. You gotta say that out your mouth first, so that we don't expect your ass to stand on the principles and the morals and the code of conduct that makes up the shit that we call the streets. Is the streets some stupid shit? Yes. Are we supposed to be participating in that shit? No. Was the streets made for to sell dope and rob and steal and kill forever? No. But it is what it is what it is. And you can't wait until it's your turn and then you decide to be a about it, and then turn around and claim that civilian shit. Gucci Mane can never be a civilian. You know why? Because he been hollering about smoking on Pookie Low. Listen, criticize Chicago for putting niggas in op packs and smoking them. But if you think about it, Gucci Mane was like the first in the history of hip hop that really talk about smoking on Pookie Low and putting his ops in packs and smoking them.
Yeah.
He can never be a civilian because he built his whole career off of all the gangster. He didn't build his career off lyricism. Don't know in their right mind listen to Gucci Mane for no lyrical acrobatics. Listen to Gucci for thugging on wax. He can never be, listen, he just did the verses 2-3 years ago, and the first thing he said to Jeezy for the show even got started is, yeah, go dig your man up. So if you're gonna talk like that, you can never claim to be no civilian. Now, I don't want to hear that he an executive shit, because he knew what he was dealing with when he signed them young wild ass. But
let me ask you this. Okay, I was gonna say, because they did say he cooperated, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, no. There would be no case if it wasn't for his for his
but
statements.
But could some of that be, hey man, I can't just let you hold me out of this contract, and I'm not finna testify on the stand or no like that? Like, is it any way out of this? Like I'm just trying to see from Gucci's perspective. Like, if you was in that scenario and that happened to you, how do you play it when you ain't finna let $50 million walk out the building?
Is he supposed to crash out? No. Is he supposed to go get a squad of motherfuckers and come back to Dallas or go to Memphis and start shooting and killing motherfuckers? No. Based on what he's been through, he'd be idiotic to do some shit like that. That shit would be the slowest. That shit would be more slower than the shit that Pooh Shiesty Big 30 are accused of doing, right? That shit would be more slower than that. But at the same time, he's supposed to get with his lawyer and get with his people and strategize what he's supposed to do. He didn't even wait. We now know that he provided statements right off the bail. It wasn't like he had a decision to make and made the decision 2-3 weeks later. He made the decision that day and the next day to fully cooperate. And when he was doing it, you don't think that he felt some type of way in his own heart? You don't think that he knew or felt like a hoe when he was cooperating? You don't think he felt like a hoe? It's tough.
Now, I was going to read you all the comments to this video. Again, this is Real Life Productions. And this individual here, his name is Dogface. I don't know who he is, a rapper maybe or something. Executive, he got a big old chain on. And in the comments, they are attacking him viciously. But now, I'm sure that the audience that this channel has is probably different than my audience, because my audience probably agrees with most of what he is saying, if not all of it, because we've been having this conversation over here lately, on different channels lately about, standing down the street code and not breaking the code or prison code, street code, whatever, once you get in a situation. That if you're going to break the code, then break it beforehand. As he said, just sign something saying, I'm done with this. Don't wait till you get in a situation and then snitch and then say off and then start to denounce the streets. Do that ahead of time if that's how you feel. If this is how you feel about the rules and the protocols, then don't break them. Just bow out ahead of time. But again, many individuals in these comments over here in this video were attacking him, saying that we are cooked as a people. If Gucci Mane did something wrong, if he can't, protect himself, if he can't go to the police, one of the comments said a young fool becomes an old fool. I mean, every one of the comments was attacking this individual right here. Every single. You know what? Let me go ahead and
tough as he has been.
Let me go ahead and read y'all these comments real quick, man. A couple of them, so y'all know I'm not just talking. Okay. Basically, if you was in the streets, no matter how old you get, you're not supposed to grow old or change. Shaking my head. We cooked. That's the number one comment. Ain't nothing like an old dumb ninja talking smart. Our youth is leaderless. This is after this dude is saying all of this in the video. A young fool becomes an old fool. All cancers to our society. This individual saying all of these individuals are cancers to our society, because this individual is on here saying Gucci Mane is wrong for snitching. So they all on him. Street dudes honor the same code a child chomo honor. Both tell their victims or expect their victims not to tell. Think about it. Who is the leader of the street? I would say it is a judge. All people that talk down on Gucci Mane are crash test dummies. So I just wanted to show y'all that real quick. They're on him about these comments, about what he's saying. A lot of people clearly don't agree with him that Gucci Mane is wrong for snitching because he was playing tough against Young Jeezy and in his music, and that he was professing to be a thug, and he's talking about dig your dead homies up, that he smoked and all this. And then when something happens like this, he goes and tells. So this individual is saying that's just against the street code. As we can see, the comments were against him, saying to hell with that street code. We are all cooked. If this is how you think you were once a young fool, now you become an old fool talking like this. Our youth have no leaders, because leaders are not supposed to be talking like this, apparently is how they feel. I'm just pointing all of this out because I'm curious as to how you all feel about this. I think I already know because of some of the conversations that we've been having over here lately on this channel over the past few weeks, a month or so, about these 50-50 yards in prison and stand solid and all of this. And he's basically saying some of the same things, that don't wait until you get into a situation, get caught up, get robbed or whatever, and then you go and snitch and make songs about it and denounce the street. When before this, you were thugged out tough and all. If you are not tough and you just a civilian, as he says, a civilian, a non-gang member, a non-tough person, not a non-thugged out individual, not a street person, before, and something like this happens to you, you call and talk to the police about it, that's to be expected. But if you pledge allegiance to the street and the street code, is his point, and then turn around and snitch and all this when you get in a situation, then you're all bad. That's just all bad. This is what he's saying. Again, I'm curious to know what you all think about what he is saying.
In the media, as tough as he's been on these rap records, you don't think when he was in that interrogation room, because he was in the interrogation room, I can't wait to hear that motherfucking interrogation room tape.
But see, but don't you like that he owned it? He jumped out the window and there, nigga.
Owned it. Listen.
That nigga owned it.
Hey, listen. Never before in the history, in the annals of hip hop, have a broke bad like that and then decided to go make a rap record acknowledging.
I'm a double down on snitching.
And then he did it on the Zaytoven beat.
On the Zaytoven?
On the Zay beat. I want to know what was Zaytoven doing because you know he engineered that session.
Now I heard that it was on the beat pack.
Lying. Zay ain't gave that nigga no beat pack. He just chose. Gucci Man don't go through beat packs, bro. Yo, they tell the motherfucker lying. You know they lying? They lying because they don't want to be attached to the overall song creation process. Zaytoven ain't sent that no beat pack.
Okay, but here's the thing, bro. I think we got to start keeping it real about a little bit of shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
That snitch, that ain't the end of the world at this point.
It's not. Hell.
This is like, hey, this is still my partner, bro. You can tell that's what's going on, and it's probably been going on. So Zaytoven is a man of God. He don't give a damn about snitching. He probably, you know what I'm saying? He's probably on the side of calling the police.
Hey, but listen.
So why would it hurt his legacy if he's already a civilian?
Well, it doesn't hurt Zay's legacy because nobody expects Zay to be anything other than Zay.
Right.
I've met Zay a million times. So he is exactly what he purports himself to be. Right. He's a motherfucker who stay out of all that gangster shit. But the whole point is, the historical nature is that arguably Gucci Mane made his legend on Zay beats.
Right.
Why would you put him in a predicament? You know you finna do some shit that's historically wrong. You know this song here is bigger than So Icy. The impact of this Crash Dummies is bigger than So Icy because what it means to the world of hip hop, what it means to the culture. It's a culture. Right. Because he did own it. You got to be able to appreciate that. He ain't saying he ain't do it. He ain't arguing with it. You ain't got to argue about it. I did it, and I did it because hey, I'm wearing my professional hat right now.
Right.
Now he owned it. So for that, I have to. Because he ain't trying to lie about it. You hear me?
Yeah.
When it first happened, they tried to cover it up by putting up that motherfucking thing and him holding that little shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying like it wasn't going to happen. And that's how we thought that he was going to keep it G. Ain't none of this he did is G though. Right? So it just is what it is. His legacy, I think his legacy has already taken a beating because of the relationship that he has with his wife, how she playing him. Gucci Mane is a clone, bro. That's not the same Gucci that we know from 20 years ago. Gucci Mane he's on psychotropic medication and his wife is using him and maneuver. She didn't put that voodoo pussy on him. That's what didn't happen. This ain't the same Gucci Mane. So it's a combination of psychotropic medication and a from the islands who know voodoo. She didn't voodoo that man.
But here's what I don't understand, Dogface, bro. If I've been a real for 44 years, bro, I can't be a fake for one. What? I can't just do some flower. I can't do one flower shit at 45.
Hey, listen.
I gotta be a real
you gotta be a real to the day you die. There has to be a reasonable, and listen, if you do something that appears to go against the code of the street, and listen, you don't want to be judged by the same code that you judge somebody else by. Listen, bro. So listen, Oh, y'all being immature. Y'all not looking at the bigger picture. He's an executive. He didn't go there for that. He went there to handle business. Hey, listen. But you can bet your ass, if it was somebody else, raise your hand. If you think, if that happened to somebody else, and that somebody else would have did, if Jeezy that would have happened to Jeezy, and Jeezy would have got robbed and stripped and beat like that, what do you think Gucci Mane would have said about it? What kind of tweets would have went out about that? So the hypocritical thing is not how people looking at it. The hypocritical thing is that you built your entire career off of thugging, off of destruction, off of trolling. The first rap troll, that nigga was the first rap troll from down south. He trolled the out of everybody who went against the code of the street. So you can't be mad when a hold you to the same standard that you once supported all the way up until it wasn't advantageous to you. You can't be mad about that. That ain't how that go. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And the pot can't call the kettle black. If it was Jeezy got caught down like that, do you think that Gucci Mane wouldn't have tweeted, subtweeted, or Instagrammed something about how, he been a ass the whole time? I'm not surprised.
I will say that I agree with a lot of what he's saying, to tell you the truth. But, at the same time, I understand the street code. And all I hear him saying is that if you are a part of the street code, then you need to stand on that. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you are a part of the street code, don't wait until you get into a situation and then you're not a part of the code anymore. As a part of these streets, whether you agree with the rules or not, there's foolish and all of that, fine. Stay away from them. Don't be a part of it. But don't pledge allegiance to it. Don't take an oath to it and represent it and all of this. And then when you get in a situation, say, oh no, I don't want no parts of that. Just do that beforehand. It's all I really hear him saying, the same thing everyone else has really been saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. You all, again, let me know what you think in the comments.
Surprised that Gucci broke bad. You know why? Because he broke bad when that shit happened with the Pookie Loke. He had to say what happened because he blamed him. But outside of him blaming Pookie Loke for the so-called robbery thing, don't forget it was Gucci Mane who pointed the finger at Jeezy and said that Jeezy had the motive.
But that's my point. He did this in the truth. So I don't understand why is acting like it's different. This is the part of the game.
It's not different. For people who really understand what's going on in the world of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Listen, real men don't look up to no rapper about nothing. Real men, motherfuckers who are of psychological substance and intelligence, nobody don't look up to these shit. But it's not about...
Dogface looked up to
a
lot of...
Street nigga, listen, let me back down.
He was the one that didn't question, bro. This is the one
I think...
I never really heard...
Listen, motherfuckers know that he told on Jeezy, bro.
Who?
But listen.
Never said that.
Listen, never said it because of the power and influence he had. But if you talk to in the right circles, they've been saying that he been flawed ever since that whole Pookie Loke shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just that sometimes a star, the star of who a person is, the perception of who a motherfucker is, it overshadows flaws that he does or that they do.
Yeah.
So that is true. Man. So the whole thing is like, man, ain't nobody glorifying that shit. But at the same time, you glorified it. You stood on it and you used the same principles that you're being judged by right now to condemn other people. So you got to eat that shit.
Yeah. Again, as I said, the things that he are saying, many of them make sense to me. The primary thing being that, especially if what he's saying, if what he is saying is true, that Gucci Mane held other individuals to this certain standard, profited off of it, made records about it, became a millionaire from condemning other individuals about snitching and all of that, then he's just pointing out the hypocrisy of it all. Again, if you do not gang bang, if you are not a part of any streets or any street code or whatever, that's fine. He's referring to individuals who are a part of the street code who've made money from talking about how tough they are and how street they are and how not to snitch, have criticized other individuals for snitching and this and that until you find yourself in a situation with a rifle pointed in your face and you know, left with what to do about it, either go crash out or go to the police. You chose the latter, and now you understand why some people have done what they have done in the past. You know, now that you have this understanding, because you ended up snitching, perhaps you're not going to criticize individuals anymore. But at first, Dogface position is that Gucci Mane held people accountable for the same thing that he just did. And if that is true, then yes, he would be wrong for snitching if you have made a career in millions of dollars from holding people accountable for snitching. That's direct hypocrisy. Now, if you're just a regular individual that this happened to, music producer or whatever, you're not from the street, you're not of the street code, the silly street code, then fine. But if you're going to talk about you are and be tough and act like you're tough in your music videos, whatever else, and hold people accountable for the same thing that you ended up doing, then that is hypocrisy. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.